this is a continuation. Previous video stopped. This is a continuation. It must be part 2 of spiritual life. So we're actually just talking about Bhakti, which is love, and prayer and gratitude. Okay, now just about those unconscious negative dysfunctional patterns that we might have that can cloud our experience of inner love and joy. Okay, there we go. See some Mentaka. Yeah, being unconsciousness delight. Right, something that may be on topic with this is that I've just recently, in the last week or so, become a vegan, and I am feeling better, lighter. That was as a result of watching one of the videos of, I think it was Insights from the Master, talking about, eating meat. And when you think about it energetically, we're eating dead animals. So as he talks about, literally eating corpses. And energetically, that's, what that does to our bodies and our systems energetically is not terribly positive. So I have felt a bit of a shift by ceasing to eat meat now and meat products. Okay, but that's not for everyone, of course, depending on what stage you're at. I just thought I'd pop that in there for people that are tossing and turning, because I've probably been thinking about doing that for about a year or so. I've only just went, because everyone else in my house eats meat. So sometimes you just got to do what you feel you need to do. So that's just gorgeous. So this is about devotion, love, but also that sensing in that heart chakra. Okay, now we haven't talked about Ashtar, call to action. Okay, take charge, lead by example, walk your talk. So if we're talking about prayer, gratitude, love and joy, okay, it really means taking a stand for a start to do what you need to do in order to make yourself feel happy. Because if you are running the treadmill, you're of service to others, and you're not doing any of these other things, you're not feeling into any of those other states, or you're not giving yourself an opportunity to, then it might be time to take action and do some rearranging, do some negotiating, do some compromising, being a little bit assertive maybe, but in a nice, kind and firm way, to just say, look, I do need a bit of time. How about A and B happens? Yeah. So once again, this really powerful blue colour is coming through, which is once again about truth. Okay, here we have the truth, and the fire here. That's quite interesting, because the fire is actually quite a symbol of spirit. It's very spiritual. Okay, so the other thing too is just remember these two are very close in vibration. So with the layers of Bhakti, as you go up in the layers, up in the dimensional frequencies of the different types of love, all those facets of love, okay, as we get to the top here, unconditional love. Okay, it's a very high frequency. But if you are a very masculine guy, for example, you might, in order to get more into that love vibration, you might need to start really tapping into, or first of all coming to some conceptual understanding of what it means for you to integrate your feminine aspect. Most guys think that if I integrate my feminine aspect that I'm going to become gay. That's not necessarily true. Okay, the other thing is, if you are say you're a woman who is very submissive, for example, very receptive to what's going on, you might need to try try and tap into your masculine aspect, which is about starting to, well, you might first of all want to look at the philosophy and reasons why you want to do that. You might go into some mindfulness and meditation about, or into some awareness about where have you got that pattern from that is causing you to be in a state of non-assertion. Okay, and examine here, how happy are you really being completely submissive all the time? Is your life happy or is it not? Okay, then if you do come back to here and you go, well look, in order to feel more happier on the inside, I need to start in small ways asserting myself or making time for myself to go and do something that I enjoy doing. Okay, you can see how that if you can bring these aspects into balance within yourself, it's going to really help that gratitude, love and joy, and help you to become more, your whole soul is more aligned with that light. Okay, it's not that by becoming masculine and feminine that we're saying we no longer need to have relationships. That's not what we're saying, because we still need karma service relationships. We will have them ongoing until, so that we learn. And that also helps us to have compassion. Okay, relationships. And of course people can choose at some point or phases in their lives to not be in relationships, and that's fine, and we can't judge people for that. But it is generally a case that the more balanced you are, the more peace you feel within yourself, okay, and the more content you feel. But that's going to take a bit of action. It's almost like this is a little combo here of basically really that little push, or that standing up for your heart chakra. You really got to stand up for your own peace, love and joy. Okay, you've got to take a stand for it, because that will help as well. And the other thing I've just realised about this is that being in water or even having a shower energetically can be very cleansing. So if you find that you are in this a lot and you are carrying a lot of stuff in your field, you're getting overwhelmed energetically, or you feel like crap a lot of the time, or you're exhausted or overwhelmed, have a shower, go for a swim, use water as a really lovely therapy. And literally I did this yesterday actually, coming home from, I was doing some therapy work for some people, and I literally had a shower and I was like, it was the first time I actually kind of intended to wash away. In my consciousness, I was actually washing away the vibrations of the people that I'd been seeing. And you can do that with your awareness. Okay, and that's another thing here. Awareness. So that comes into clearing your field so that you can feel your joy. Because sometimes if we do a lot of work, we can get overwhelmed. Okay. And even going for a swim too, or a swimming pool, something like that, it's very great for stretching out the body, releasing the spine. It's quite playful in water as well. If you have kids and you can go for a swim, it's really joyous. Children love it, and it's quite fun too. Seeing potential, and that's the other thing too. If you're in a state of grief or you're upset about something, don't worry, because you can move through that. Just slowly, start to do some of these things, and yeah, you will get there. And it's really important if you're in grief to really work hard at doing something you enjoy. Give yourself permission to say, what, I'm a being of light. I really need to give my heart chakra a boost right now in the interests of self-love and self-care, even though I'm feeling this grief, and I'm going to put that to the side and allow myself half an hour to an hour of just to enjoy something. Okay, I know that's hard, But prayer, you can pray, and all this also, if you start to form philosophies too, if you have grief about something, maybe someone close to you has passed away or died, gone into other realms, okay, just start forming your understanding of life and death. Maybe that could actually help you to come to terms with what's happened, and maybe help you to get some more information about it, rather than just feeling like, what the, really put your mind, body and soul into figuring that out for yourself, and a process of consolidation as well. But so this is almost like, the fight for the Bhakti now. We're actually on to the, we've actually really got to work hard at this, because I know, at the moment, all around the world at the moment, everyone is having grief, upset, confusion, okay, and it's very hard for people to get into that realm of love and joy, but we've got to start, okay, and bringing your masculine and feminine into balance is a good start, and doing things that give you joy, and seeing the potential, because it's all there now. Yep, we went Raja. So this is the mindfulness one. Now, once again, if anything I say doesn't resonate, don't take it on. If it does resonate or you find interesting, do some research. Okay, and the other thing too is that some of these images that come up, these three we've just had, okay, there might be other little thoughts and ideas that come to you as you're looking at these images. Write them down, because they could be really useful for you. Now, wow, meditation. That is such a powerful image. Oh my God, that is number one of fire. Look at those chakras. Boom. So this is really a very strong image of, if you're going to do some meditation, one thing you can do is start doing chakra meditations. One I use on YouTube is called my mind's gone blank. Meditative Mind. Okay, now they have a series of different meditations, one for each chakra. Okay, it's called Healing Camp. Right now, it is guided, but it's quite gentle and very relaxing. Now, this is about healing and activating the energy body. So we're actually at this stage, folks, where we can start doing this. Now, you need to do it with discernment. Please don't sit there on your Sunday afternoon and go through every single one of these chakras in one sitting. Too much. You need to do it with discernment. So you might like to, over the space of 5 to 7 days, if you feel a bit like lacking in energy in one of these chakras, maybe do meditation on, say, like your heart chakra. The next day or a couple of days later, you might go, well, I might do the sacral chakra, and you can research these as well. It's also saying, find out, use your jhana to look into chakras and the energy body, because as we balance these, this is what helps us to come into union as well. And also the practice of yoga, Tai Chi, looking at breath, even getting the body moving, and really pay attention to over here with the Bhakti. I was mentioning the heart chakra before. Are you doing sufficient things to kind of activate this area? Okay, you can also activate this area via prayer, but also via just getting into a really peaceful state. Okay, deep relaxation. You can do a guided heart chakra meditation, which would be awesome. And once we have the eye opening up here, that's obviously when we are more in union. Okay, we've got our energy body humming nicely, and we are more in alignment. Okay, And we are starting to get more into this type of feeling here. But we would definitely be then going, you know what, you would have a different feeling that, yeah, I'm kind of feel like now I'm moving into my spiritual way of being. Okay. So this Raja is about meditation, mindfulness, peacefulness, focus and awareness. So a very strong indication or hint there that if we're going to be meditating on anything, start with a guided meditation on your chakras if you can. And that takes a whole lot of pressure off of you sitting there and trying to empty your mind, which is really hard to do. Okay, you can also do some guided meditations on journeying to see or find your spirit guide. Also, there's different archangel meditations. Just, experiment, look at a few, and that can be part of your research as well. Okay, is explore, discover, and find out. And oh wow, look at the colours here, synchronicities. Wow, jump in, Andromeda energy, adventure, say yes to change. Wow. That's actually a really big eye there, which is kind of cool. It's a pupil. Remember what I mentioned before about swimming? It's literally jumping in the water there. But this is the galactic realm as well. So, yeah. And also, if meditation is something foreign to you, you're a bit repulsed by it, or, you don't really want to go there, try and find some research different types of meditation. You might want to, or even just go out in nature. It's literally saying, if you're not doing any Raja type meditation type stuff, please just jump in and give it a freaking go. That's basically what it's saying, because it will help everything. If you can get really still and calm, even if you do it once or twice a week, okay, it'll start. And then as time goes on, as the layers go, you go deeper. You want to do it more and more, and then ultimately you get to the point where, you know what, I think I need to do some sort of meditation every day now. Okay. And that, everyone's at different stages. And some people are so adept that they can literally go through their whole day in between things, being able to just switch into really stillness and calm, so that they're literally carrying that vibration the whole day. They might do like half a dozen stints of 5 minutes, and they're like cruising. Okay, I mean, there's different ways to do it as well. But I'm going to suggest, if you do quick meditations like that, try and give yourself once or twice a week a deeper meditation of maybe 30 minutes. Okay, and these guided ones on YouTube, can be useful. Now, look at that. I'm just looking. See those flames? They look like wings. And we have the caduceus here, which is a symbol of healing, with 2 serpents, and there's literally wings there. And this is, an Ascended Master. We are on Raja and mindfulness, and this is Mercury, open communication. It says, get a weight off your chest, speak up with love and be heard. So get a weight off your chest. So that is in line with being mindful of what's going on inside of you, and being really open with yourself and going, you know what, there's a lot of shit going on right now. It might help if I talk to someone about it. And that sometimes taking a load off your chest does give you a sense of peace. It can lighten the load. Okay, so in terms of peacefulness, awareness and focus, it will help you, because if you're carrying a lot of stuff, okay, it will weigh you down, and it will feel like there's too much, and it'll be really hard for you to have to get into a state of peace. Okay, so if you can offload, get any weights off your chest that you need to, that's metaphorically speaking, then that will help you. And also, it does help you with self-awareness too, because also you're acknowledging that, you know, I need to talk about some things, I need a bit of help. Okay. Yep, open communication. Awesome. And yep, so this is about the energy body. So this is sort of saying, like I've just said, if you are carrying a lot of if you're very busy, okay, you deal with other people a lot, you're carrying a lot in your field, okay, you really need to start paying attention to your energy body, okay, and just give yourself a break to go and do something else. Allow yourself to get rejuvenated. Find something that you can do that will rejuvenate you. Okay. It might be just going somewhere that's peaceful. Okay. That will help you to get into that peacefulness state. But that I too, that it's sort of alluding to seeing and perception. Okay, so when you are meditating, you're literally going into your mind's eye and just seeing, like, you can even ask yourself the question, you know, how do I see myself? You know, how do I see others for the most part? You know, am I seeing with a positive lens or a negative lens? You know, just start to be, you know, communicate with yourself a little bit more, with your own higher self, and don't forget to work on the energy body, especially with those guided meditations. That's awesome. Okay, fantastic. Let's just go to the last one, which is karma. It's been unfortunate the first half of this video just decided to stop itself. So this is part 2, as I said before. Now, this is karma, which is to do with service, work, actions, relationships, and compassion. And this one here is number 5 of water. And that water is actually quite an emotional element. It's very flowing. Also represents the subconscious. Okay, can be symbolic of the subconscious. And the number 5 usually refers to change, so it might be an upset, or there's going to be transition or process of transition and change going on, which is kind of what it's saying here, is that it's, you know, your work as you move up into 5D and taking on the spiritual life, okay, you may feel that you need to change or shift your relationships and your type of work that you're doing. And it's also saying, you know, just be compassionate with yourself. Okay, if you are needing to make decisions and make transitions in those areas, you know, do so gently, as gently as you can. And because sometimes your higher self actually wants to, or your inner wisdom, okay, particularly if you're starting to tap into Jnana, what your real truth is about, you're starting to get more awareness here with your meditation, and you're starting to feel more connected in your heart chakra. You may start to feel like, oh, you know, my work is really, it's just so against what I'm trying to do now. And you might also feel like, you know what, I think what my heart is speaking to me is that I really need to be doing this other thing over here, because it's going to be so much more in alignment with all of these other aspects of my soul that are coming into my awareness now. Okay, and that's fine. But you know, you can do it with you know, and this is awesome here. This is beautiful. With some very feminine images here coming through for karma. This is the Shekinah sacred self, and that's really about honouring the sacred self. So we said, you know, as as we move through our work and our relationships, and especially our relationship with our higher self as well, okay, that we really honouring that and loving it as well. This also says, unleash your spirit, express your gifts, dance to the sacred rhythm of life. So it's really saying, if your heart is pulling you in a different direction in terms of relationships, service, work, whatever, it's just saying, express your gifts, allow those changes, the processes to happen, because you may find as time goes on that you might need to, beat to a different drum, dance to a different drum beat, and that's primarily because perhaps you were operating in a third D way, where perhaps the certain values and beliefs that you were holding up there was like, this is the way it is, and yada. But as you move into fourth and fifth D, you have an awareness of what your soul is now, and you're going, yes, I'm much happier and more fulfilled if I can do this, and unfortunately I am going to have to make some changes there. Or it might just be changing the way in which you do this. That's entirely up to you, whether you feel you need to change those areas of, work and relationships, or whether you don't need to change them. Okay. Yep. And it might be just about introducing some new things. So it might be like, if you work in a certain field that is not fulfilling you, start dipping your toe, metaphorically, into other little areas. Do some mini courses online at night or something like that. The other thing with relationships too, if you find your current relationships not so fulfilling or very oppressive for you, try and add or make other connections as well. Okay, and then once you have enough support, you may be able to move away from the people that are very oppressive. But obviously, if you are with them for other reasons that you need to be, then it could be part of your karma that you are being in of service to them. But then once that has run its course, everything's up to you. It's free, and basically some of the things I've said there. If it doesn't resonate, don't take it on. Yeah. And here another one we have for karma. Oh, this is awesome. Deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. Wow. So that is also about sometimes this comes sort of back to that idea about if we've experienced some degree of dysfunction, and a lot of people have, we all have past life traumas, okay, that are affecting us, perhaps also traumas from this life, okay, that with Arcturus energy, and you can call on this light being energy, that they can help us with healing those disturbances in the field, in the the light body, in the energy body, and the physical body. Deep cellular healing, that's awesome. And that's also what this process is here of transition. As we transition into third and fourth and fifth D, it can feel like a change, but it's also a process of healing, because we're coming more into oneness with God's source of light and unconditional love. Because essentially we're coming from a disconnected, damaged state of separation, okay, which has been a necessary part of our evolution, but we are now moving into healing that wound or that separation from source. Okay, and it's all happened the way it's supposed to have happened. But now what is supposed to happen is that we are coming back together as one, our higher self, our soul, coming back into one with source and light. And we're moving into more, spiritual life. So there's some really beautiful feminine images here. Yep, we've got the Arcturus energy there. This one is really about holding yourself in compassion as you go through a process of change, okay, with regard to your work, family, relationships, or anything like that, friendships. And this one's saying about, don't forget the sacred self. You are as sacred as anyone else. Okay. And I really love those wings there. That's a nice, beautiful card to end on. Yep, express your gifts, which is awesome, because as you go into these other areas, you probably get more of an idea of what your spiritual gifts are and the directions in which you need to move towards. Okay. So that's sort of what that's saying, is really try and honour that as much as you can and start making steps towards it. Yep. It says dance to the sacred rhythm of life. Sometimes dancing is really awesome. And the other thing about that little dove there is it has a beautiful star in its heart chakra, which is lovely. So essentially, this is the thing when we go about our service and our karma, is that we still need to be viewing ourselves as Brahma, as light, and that everyone we come across is that as well. Okay. And that's quite a challenge to hold that view, particularly if someone is being very difficult and not nice. It's really hard to hold that view. But sometimes at some point there's only so much that you can take energetically, and then you need to just step back and really love yourself. Okay. And you really need to just give yourself permission to be perhaps more so in an energetic environment, or with people energetically that are more conducive to your healing, more conducive to you realising and stepping into your sacred self. Okay. But obviously there's a lot of middle ground, and there's a whole spectrum. It takes time, okay, to move through all of those things. But that's really beautiful. Thank you, Spirit, for that. So I guess we will wrap it up there. It's the end of part 2. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you next time. Bye.